No, the conversation that Shafiq had with Scott, I think really resonated with a lot of us as we sat here and we thought about it, because we see the problems that happen when we get arrested, but we never see how the police are handled when they do a problem to somebody, do some violence to us in the community. And I think that's part of the conversation that I think we need to have. With that video, it showed that the man did nothing to anybody. He was maintaining and taking care of his patient. And yet he was still assaulted and nobody seemed to respond. So I think the question that I have over and over in my heart is, how do I feel safe in this community when I know that no matter what I do, I'm still subject to being violated by someone and no one's going to be reprimanded for it?
I saw that. Good evening. I work for Shafiq. I saw that video for the first time about 2 or 3 hours ago. And I still haven't been able to get over it. There's no explanation. There's nothing right about that video. That set us back again in ways that are hard to get past. So I'm not here to defend it. I don't understand it.
You know, with all the violence that I've been seeing, especially in the last couple of weeks, I have 3 grandsons. And my grandsons are very, very personable, and they talk to a lot of people. They use their arms. They're very active. They're normal boys who want to communicate, who want to talk to people, and they don't understand that they have to fear and they have to learn to control their body actions and their conversations when they are in the presence of the police all the time. How do I put my head on a pillow at night and say, my child is going to be safe when they're with a caregiver out there doing something and a policeman shoots him? My child is going to see a violence that's on him. How do we talk to our boys about that?
I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how a police officer gets up in the morning and says, how are they going to build trust when a child has just seen that same event that officer has seen? What I do know is that in New Haven, mistakes and all, we're trying to do it differently. Right? What I do know is over 300 families trust their children to the New Haven police every morning at a PAL camp where they're surrounded by officers in uniform, where Alder's children, police officers' children, citizens' children are all at that camp every morning as I shake their hand. So those are 300 families who trust the police every morning and who are developing relationships. But this video sets us back. It sets us back just terribly. I don't understand it. I don't like it any more than you do. I don't think any police officer does. It will make life harder tomorrow morning when we all wake up.
I appreciate that, but I also think about the young man who was in his car with his girlfriend and his child was in the back, who was shot. And in that circumstance, it's very, very much the same, where he wasn't being the aggressor. And so again and again, we see these types of scenes. And somehow we have to have a conversation with all of us, and I think we're doing a good job, and thank you, my son, and Boise. But the reality is, how do we sensitize everybody and then also hold everybody accountable? Accountability for everybody's actions should be there. There should never be a circumstance where somebody has other fallbacks, other safety nets for it. But when somebody does some violation to anybody in the community, whether it be a child or a police officer or anybody, they're held accountable. But we all need to see that. We need to feel that accountability goes in all ways. And somehow, maybe in this conversation with the community policing and everything, New Haven can be the first one to demonstrate that and exhibit that and put it in practice. but we have to put it in practice so that we can all feel that we can walk the streets safely together.